Hello everybody, I am back with a video. This is going to be a fun video that I do once a month, and that is kind of a rewrap of the books that I read for the month, focusing mainly on my Christian reads. I do read a lot of, I guess, contemporary, is that what you call it? I'm not sure. I guess traditional maybe, fiction and things like that. And I'm in a book club where we read all sorts of things. But I do want to focus on this channel with things that are mostly in the Christian realm. So that's what today's video is going to be about. So I will tell you that I only have 2 books that I completed in August in this category. I read a total of 6, and 2 of them kind of fit the bill, but I have 2 from the end of last month that I want to bring up just because they were such good books. So that's kind of what I'm going to do today. So with that, let's jump right in. And let's start with the books that I read and finished up toward the end of August. I'm sorry, toward the end of July. And the first one is A Voice in the Wind by Francine Rivers. This book highly recommended to me by some friends of mine that just kept saying it's a trilogy, and they just kept saying, you've got to read it, you've got to read it. So I did finally get it on my Libby and was able to do it by audio. And oh gosh, I really want to invest in this series. I really want this in my library. But it was such a good book. It was set back in like the beginning of the church age, during a time when there was so much controversy and conflict between the Romans and the Christians of the time. And it focuses in on one girl in the story who was a slave. It was actually sold into slavery as a Jew, but and had not completely disclosed that she was a Christian, because at that time you were killed. If you were a Christian, you were honestly put to death. So that's kind of the premise of the story. And I don't know, it's just such a good book. It's so much faith content in this book that it really was convicting as far as my own Christian walk and standing up for what I believe. So highly, highly recommend this book. I would check it out. I am now waiting on the second book, but it is just really, really good. And I think it's called The Mark of the Line or something like that. But it's one of those kind of a cliffhanger. It leaves you just wanting more. So I'm really excited to continue that series. And I did want to mention that book because, like I said, the faith content in that book was phenomenal. And the second book, we don't do a Christian read in my online Christian book club in August because of the summer months and it being so busy, and it's the leader's birthday month. So she elects for us not to do that. And then plus we're shifting from meeting at the end of the month to the beginning of the month because as we go into the fall season, of course, there's tons of holidays. So we skip August. So I didn't really have a read for that book club in August, but I did want to talk about my one from July. And I'm gonna look over at my book journal. It's called Holy Care for Your Whole Self. Holy Care for the Whole Self. And it's by Laura Smith. And I rated this book 4 stars. I did glean a lot of information from it. She really delves a lot into mental health issues and taking care of those. So there was a lot of that in this book. So if you're someone who has had any type of mental health struggles, this is definitely a good resource. I will say too, though, she does put a big emphasis on how to rest yourself well, and how to find moments of connection with God and using that as a way to promote your self-care. So overall, it was a really good book. I will say that, there's some trigger things in there, perhaps, if you have mental health issues, specifically anxiety. She talks a lot about anxiety. So I do recommend it. I think it was good. I think that there is definite things in there to be learned. So with that kind of finishes up the books that I completed at the end of July that I wanted to throw into this since it was going to be so short. But the 2 books that I did complete in August, one was a Christian nonfiction, and the name of it was Don't Give the Enemy a Seat at Your Table by Louie Giglio. I mean, 5 stars, 5,000% 100% recommend. So I listened to this on audio. I'm definitely going to add this to my library. I think it's got some great things that I can use for my Sunday school teaching. So just super phenomenal book. He had a teaching in there about Psalm 23 that just blew me away. So I highly recommend this book. It's not a long book. It's fairly short and just packed full of great information, lots of scripture references, lots of takes on scripture that perhaps are a little different than the narratives you've heard before, especially like Psalm 23, typically is thought of as a more of an end of your life verses or passage, and walking through the valley of the shadow of death, of course, is in there, but he has some takes on some of the other parts of that verse that really help you connect with that verse applying to you in your current life, not after death. So anyway, I loved it. I thought it was great. I super highly recommend it. Definite 5-star read. It was quick. And like I said, it would be a great book for a small group to read together. And sorry about that. Let me pick back up with Double Take by Lynette Eason. It is a Christian fiction book. I had to go back and kind of reread to remind myself. I'm in the middle of another series right now that's really good that I'll talk about next month. But anyway, I kind of get things muddled and mixed up. But this book is about a nurse practitioner PA situation who meets up with a detective, and both have suffered things in the past that have caused PTSD. And so both of them have some struggles with some things like that going on in their lives, and their paths cross, and of course, there's romance involved, and there's lots of family situations that are played out, and there's some mystery involved as well. And the mystery part is really intriguing. So I don't know. I just really love this book. I thought it was great. There was no smut at all, which is always a good thing. Anytime you're doing romance in today's market, you have to be scared about what you're going to get, to be honest. So this book was just really wholesome. They both had lots of, lots of references to their faith. And both, well, especially the detective, his family was a Christian family. So, and I can't remember if hers had a big emphasis on Christian or not. But anyway, they both rely on their faith to help them with the current issues that they're dealing with. So it's just great how it plays out, the mystery, and there's a lot of suspense involved at the end. So I do highly recommend. I gave this star 5 books, and it is part of the Lake City Heroes series. It was the first book in that series, and I'm looking forward to continuing that. But I really liked her writing style and how she kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat. And I don't know, I just thought it was great. So those are the 2 books that I read for the month of August that kind of fit into this. Now, like I said, I've read a total of 6 books this month, and not all of them kind of fit into what I'm hoping to do as far as reviewing for this channel. So I'm just going to let that go with that. And let me know if you guys have read any of the books that I mentioned and what you thought about them. And looking forward to the fall season. As you can see, I've got my little pumpkin necklace on August 31st. I'm one day early, but I'm really looking forward to cozy season and getting into more reading because it's going to be getting that time of year where you have a little more time for stuff like that. So I am really looking forward to sharing all that with you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.